Max Rich here, and that was the beginning to Helter Skelter by the Beatles. You know, this is sort of like one of the first hard rock heavy metal songs of all time. I mean, I would even go so far as to call it punk rock because it's so raw and so heavy. But we can still play it on acoustic guitar. That's like the beautiful thing about the Beatles, is that you play virtually, I mean, you could actually play every Beatles song on acoustic guitar. It's just, that's how good at songwriting they were. You know, I mean, some bands and, you know, even legendary bands write really complex, you know, kind of stuff that can't necessarily always be played on acoustic guitar. Queen is a perfect example. You can't play every Queen song on acoustic guitar, but you could play every Beatles song on acoustic because it just fits so well. And that's most likely how every Beatles song, or almost every Beatles song, was written on acoustic guitar. And Helter Skelter is no exception. Even though there's crunchiness, there's distortion, there's loud amps and all that stuff, you don't need it to play guitar, right? That's just like a little extra bonus on top, right? But for us acoustic players, it should work no problem. And what we're going to do today, I'm going to kind of teach you the ins and outs, all the licks involved in the song, right? From what you just heard, which is just the very introduction, to the really heavy chord parts, you know? And the good thing is you're not going to need a ton of chords. I think there's, you know, maybe like 3 or 4 chords in the whole song, so it's not like you're going to need this massive chordal repertoire. I mean, you're probably familiar with the Beatles. You've probably played a couple Beatles songs. Chordally, they're not that complicated. This one's even easier, you know, than most Beatles songs, right? There's only a couple. What will potentially give you a challenge is the solo and the guitar licks in it. They're blues-based, but they're also a little bit unique. They're not out of time, but they're employing unique time. I should phrase it that way. So you'll get all the parts of the song by the end. You'll get the chorus, the verse, the riffs, the chunky chords, that little crunchy distortion part in the beginning, although we're not using distortion, and you will have the solo. So by the end of it, you will be able to play the entire song, beginning to end, and if you sing, well, sing along, because you'll be able to impress your friends. You know a new Beatles song that way. So stick around. A lot of Beatles headed your way right now.